What if the person who breaks your heart isn't the villain of your story? What if the real villain is the one who tries to mend your shattered heart? This is a story about betrayal, redemption, and discovering that sometimes the most unexpected person becomes your greatest love. But I warn you, this story will break your heart before it heals you. If you're ready for a story that will make you laugh, cry, and believe in love again, stay with me. And if this touches your soul, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who needs hope today. Trust me, you'll want to see how this unfolds. The champagne bubbles mocked her with their celebration. Tori Anderson sat at the corner table, her coral bridesmaid dress feeling like a costume for a role she never auditioned for. The reception hall sparkled with wealth and white roses. At the center of it all stood Devin, her Devin. Except he wasn't hers anymore, was he? He stood with his arm around Simone, Tori's best friend since their freshman year at Howard. His wife now. The woman in white was radiant, glowing with the kind of happiness that comes from believing you found your forever. She had no idea that the man she'd just married had whispered, "I love you" to Tori just 6 months ago. Tori's fingers traced the rim of her untouched champagne glass. The bubbles had gone flat, much like the hope she'd carried for 3 years. 6 months ago, Devin had sat her down in his car after dinner, couldn't even do it in the restaurant, couldn't face her across a table, and said the words that destroyed her. "My parents will disown me if I marry you. You know how they are about us, about you being." He couldn't even finish the sentence, couldn't say the words black or interracial or any of the truths that apparently mattered more than 3 years of love. And Tori, with her grace and her foolish, selfless love, had let him go, had told him she understood, had smiled through tears and said she didn't want to be the reason he lost his family, had sacrificed her own happiness because she believed, God, she'd actually believed, she was saving him from having to choose. "You're too good for this world," he'd said, crying. "Too understanding, too perfect. I don't deserve you." He was right about that last part. 2 weeks later, Simone had called, voice bright with excitement about meeting someone special at a conference. 3 months after that, Tori walked into an engagement party and saw Devin's face. Her ex, Simone's fiancé, the same person. She'd made a choice then, a stupid, selfless choice. To say nothing, to let Simone have her happiness, to be the maid of honor with a smile on her face and a secret in her heart. Now, watching them dance, Tori wondered if she'd made the right choice. Now, she needed air. The terrace was blessedly empty, overlooking manicured gardens lit by soft pathway lights. The cool evening air hit her face, and for the first time all evening, she let herself breathe. If you're thinking about jumping, I should warn you, it's only a 6-foot drop. You just twist an ankle and look dramatically tragic instead of actually tragic. Not a great look. Tori spun around to find a man leaning against the stone balustrade in the shadows, a glass of whiskey in his hand. As he stepped into the light, her breath caught. He was devastating. Tall, easily 6'3", with dark blonde hair that looked artfully tousled, like he'd run his hands through it and couldn't care less. Steel gray eyes that held mischief and trouble in equal measure. His tuxedo fit perfectly, but he wore it with a casual confidence that suggested he was equally comfortable in jeans. Or nothing at all. "I wasn't planning on jumping," Tori said, her voice shakier than she'd like. "Excellent, because that dress is far too pretty to waste on a dramatic exit." He moved closer, and she caught a hint of expensive cologne. "Though I have to say, the tragic heroine look is working for you. Very Shakespearean, all you need is a willow tree and some poetic monologuing." Despite everything, Tori felt her lips twitch. "You're ridiculous. I prefer charmingly inappropriate." He extended his hand with a playful bow. "Landon Mercer, professional wedding crasher, family black sheep, and your entertainment for the evening." Wedding crasher? I was uninvited. Well, technically, I'm related to the groom, which is basically an invitation by default. The family just prefers to pretend I don't exist. His grin was unrepentant. I'm the cousin who made too much money doing his own thing, and had the audacity to enjoy it. Very gauche, much scandal. Tori found herself actually smiling, and yet here you are. Here I am. He leaned against the railing beside her, maintaining a respectful distance. I figured if I was going to be the family disappointment, I might as well commit to the role. Show up uninvited, drink their expensive whiskey, and charm beautiful bridesmaids on terraces. It's a whole lifestyle. Do you charm many bridesmaids? Tori asked, raising an eyebrow. Only the ones who look like they're contemplating either murder or a dramatic escape. Landon's eyes sparkled. You, gorgeous, have been radiating get me out of here energy since the ceremony. I'm a humanitarian. I provide rescue services. How generous of you. I'm a giver. It's my defining characteristic. That and my devastatingly good looks. He said it with such exaggerated confidence that Tori actually laughed. There it is, a real laugh. I knew it was in there somewhere. You're very sure of yourself. It's either confidence or delusion. I haven't figured out which yet. Landon took a sip of his whiskey. But while we're being honest, you want to tell me why a woman as stunning as you is hiding on a terrace instead of dancing? That's none of your business. True, but I'm excellent at making other people's business my business. It's a gift. He tilted his head, studying her. Let me guess. Bad relationship? Terrible ex? Broken heart? Tori looked away. Something like that? The something like that makes you show up at weddings looking like you're attending your own funeral. Landon's voice softened slightly. Been there. Want some company while you pretend to be okay? There was something disarming about his honesty. No prying questions, no fake sympathy, just an offer of presence. Sure, Tori heard herself say. Excellent, I'm great company. Fair warning, though, I have no filter and questionable morals. But I'm funny, which counts for something. He topped up his whiskey from a flask he pulled from his jacket. Want some? It's 30-year-old scotch. Costs more than most people's cars. You just carry a flask of expensive scotch. I'm a billionaire. We're required to be at least 40% more ridiculous than regular people. It's in the contract. He offered the flask. Come on, live dangerously. Drink smuggled alcohol with a stranger on a terrace. That's how all the best stories start. Despite herself, Tori laughed. No, I'll pass. Thanks anyway. So, tell me, she continued, what do you do aside finding bridesmaids at terraces during a wedding party? Tech investments. Made my first 100 million by 30. First billion by 35. He said it casually, like discussing the weather. Made my family absolutely livid in the process. Their old money. Banking. Very stuffy. I told them I'd rather set myself on fire than wear a suit to work every day. They told me I was a disgrace, and I told them I'd make more money than all of them combined out of spite. And here we are. Tori found herself genuinely curious. And did you? Triple their combined worth. Spite is excellent motivation. His grin was sharp. Plus, being disowned means I don't have to go to boring family dinners. Win-win. So you crashed your cousin's wedding for revenge? Revenge is such an ugly word. I prefer making a statement. Landon's eyes danced with mischief. Besides, the food is excellent, the champagne is flowing, and I found a beautiful woman to flirt with. I'd call that a successful evening? You're flirting with me? Shamelessly. Is it working? I'm at my best friend's wedding to my ex-boyfriend. Nothing is working right now. The words slipped out before Tori could stop them. She immediately regretted them. But Landon just nodded slowly. Ah, now the tragic heroine energy makes sense. That's brutal. I shouldn't have said that. Probably not, but I'm excellent at keeping secrets. It's one of my few redeeming qualities. He studied her. So what's the play here? Suffer through the night with a brave face? Stage a dramatic exit? Fake a medical emergency? I was going with suffer through the night. Boring choice. I vote for the dramatic exit. Landon pushed off the railing. Come on. Come on where? Away from here, just for a bit. I know a place. Good music, better whiskey, and absolutely no one who will judge you for being human. He extended his hand. Take a chance on a charming stranger. What's the worst that could happen? You could be a serial killer. Fair point. But I'm a terrible serial killer. I talk too much and I'm too pretty to stay hidden. He wiggled his fingers. Come on, I promise I'm only moderately dangerous, and you look like you could use some moderately dangerous right now. Tori knew she should say no, should stay, should fulfill her maid of honor duties. But looking at Landon's playful smile, his complete lack of pretense, she found herself taking his hand. 1 hour, she said, and then I come back. 1 hour, Scout's honor. Landon grinned. Though, full disclosure, I was kicked out of the Scouts for being a bad influence. But I promise anyway. They slipped out through a side entrance, and suddenly, they were in the parking lot. Landon led her to a sleek silver Aston Martin that gleamed under the lights. Of course you drive an Aston Martin, Tori said. What did you expect? A Prius? Landon opened the passenger door with a flourish. I'm a billionaire with questionable taste and no shame. This car is basically a requirement. Within moments, they were pulling out of the venue. Landon drove with casual confidence, one hand on the wheel, completely at ease. So, mysterious bridesmaid, he said, you have a name, or should I just call you tragic heroine? Tori Anderson. Tori. He said it like he was tasting it. Pretty name for a pretty woman. Though I'm sticking with tragic heroine, it has more flair. And you're sticking with ridiculous? Absolutely, it's my brand. He grinned. So, Tori Anderson, what do you do when you're not attending traumatic weddings? Interior design. I work for a firm. Let me guess. You're talented but underappreciated. You want to start your own company, but you're scared. You have a vision board somewhere with magazine clippings and fabric swatches. Tori stared at him. How did you? I'm very perceptive, and you have that look. The I have dreams, but I'm too afraid to chase them look. Landon glanced at her. For what it's worth, you should chase them. Life's too short to play it safe. Says the billionaire. Says the guy who risked everything to build something on his own terms. His voice was lighter but held an edge of truth. Scared money doesn't make money. Scared people don't make lives worth living. Before Tori could respond, they pulled up to a small jazz club tucked away in a neighborhood that definitely didn't see many Aston Martins. The neon sign read Blue Note in soft blue cursive. A jazz club? Tori asked. The best jazz club in the city. I own a piece of it. Landon killed the engine. Good music, great whiskey, and the owner makes a mean burger if you're hungry. Plus, nobody here cares about wedding drama or family expectations. It's perfect. Inside, the club was intimate and dimly lit, with maybe 40 people scattered around small tables. A quartet played on stage, the music soulful and melancholy. An older woman with silver hair spotted Landon and smiled. Landon, where have you been, baby? Making questionable life choices as usual, Gloria? Landon hugged her. This is Tori. She's had a terrible night and needs your magic. Corner table? Gloria looked at Tori's bridesmaid dress and tear-stained makeup, her expression softening with instant understanding. Corner table coming right up. And honey, whatever you're running from can't reach you here. They settled into a private corner booth. Gloria returned with whiskey and 2 menus. The burger or the pasta? Landon asked Tori. I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten all night. I can tell. He ordered 2 burgers without asking again. Trust me. Gloria's burgers cure emotional trauma. When Gloria left, Landon leaned back, completely relaxed. So, Tori Anderson, tell me something interesting about yourself that has nothing to do with weddings or exes. Like what? Anything. Favorite movie, secret talent, embarrassing childhood story. I'm not picky. Despite herself, Tori felt herself relaxing. I can't whistle. What? I've never been able to whistle. I've tried my whole life, just can't do it. Landon's grin was delighted. That's adorable. What else? I'm afraid of birds. Birds? Like all birds? Pigeons especially. They're rats with wings. Okay, that's fair. Pigeons are sketchy. Landon took a sip of whiskey. I'm afraid of clowns and commitment. In that order, Tori laughed. Commitment? Terrifying, clowns are obvious. But commitment? That's real horror. He said it lightly, but Tori caught something underneath. What about you? Why interior design? I like creating spaces where people feel safe. Where they can be themselves. That's beautiful. Landon's voice was softer, and also very telling. You spend your life making other people feel safe instead of making yourself feel safe. Tori looked away. You don't know me. Not yet, but I'm learning fast. And everything I'm learning is fascinating. He leaned forward. Here's what I know so far. You're loyal to a fault. You sacrifice your own happiness for other people's. You're beautiful, but you don't believe it. And you're sitting here with a complete stranger instead of at that wedding, because you're finally choosing yourself. I don't know what I'm doing, Tori admitted quietly. Good. That's the best place to be. When you know what you're doing, you're not taking risks. Landon's smile was warm. So let's make a deal. For tonight, we're just 2 people. No past, no trauma, no expectations. Just good music, decent company, and overpriced whiskey. You make it sound simple. It is simple. We're just excellent at making things complicated. He raised his glass. To simple nights and complicated people. Tori clinked her glass against his. To simple nights. They talked about nothing important, favorite foods, worst vacations, embarrassing moments. Landon made her laugh with ridiculous stories about his family, about business deals gone wrong, about the time he accidentally bid on a yacht at an auction while drunk. You bought a yacht by accident? In my defense, I thought I was bidding on a painting. Turns out I was in the wrong auction room. Landon grinned sheepishly. Now I own a yacht I've used twice. It mostly just sits there judging me. That's the most billionaire problem I've ever heard. Right? I can't even complain about it without sounding insufferable. It's a curse. The burgers arrived, and they were incredible. Tori hadn't realized how hungry she was until she took the first bite. Told you, Landon said smugly. Gloria's burgers cure everything. They stayed until midnight, and Tori felt lighter than she had in months. Landon was funny, irreverent, and surprisingly easy to talk to. He didn't push. Didn't pry, just made her laugh. When they finally left, Landon drove her home. Thank you, Tori said as they pulled up to her apartment. For tonight, for the rescue. Anytime. It's literally my favorite hobby, rescuing beautiful women from terrible situations. Landon pulled out his phone. Give me your number. What? Your number, so I can check on you tomorrow. Make sure you survived the night without emotional scarring. His grin was playful. Also, I make excellent breakfast recommendations. It's a gift. Tori hesitated, then rattled off her number. Landon typed it in and immediately sent her a text. Knight in shining armor reporting for duty. Try not to have any more emotional crises without me. You're ridiculous, Tori said, but she was smiling. And you're beautiful. We both have our crosses to bear. Landon's expression softened slightly. Get some sleep, Tori Anderson. Tomorrow's a new day. She climbed out of the car and Landon waited until she was safely inside before driving away. That night, Tori lay in bed staring at her phone. She should feel guilty for leaving the wedding, should be worried about Simone, should be processing her pain about Devin, but all she could think about was Landon's laugh. His ridiculous confidence, the way he'd made her feel lighter. Another text came through. Also, for the record, coral is definitely your color. And pigeons are rats with wings. Sleep well. Tori smiled and fell asleep for the first time in months without crying. What she didn't know was that as Landon drove home, he was on the phone with his best friend Johnson. Found a new toy to play with? Landon said, his voice casual. She's gorgeous, broken, and absolutely perfect. This is going to be fun. Landon. Johnson's voice held a warning. Maybe sit this one out. She sounds like she's been through enough. Relax, I'll be gentle, I always am. Landon laughed. Besides, something about her is different. She's interesting. This might actually go somewhere. That's what you always say. Yeah, but this time I mean it. Landon paused. Probably, we'll see. He had no idea how right and how wrong he was. The next morning, Tori woke to 17 missed calls from Simone. Her stomach dropped. She called back immediately. Tori, where did you go? Simone's voice was frantic but not angry. Are you okay? I'm fine. I just needed air and ended up leaving early. I'm so sorry. Don't apologize, I was just worried. Devin said you left with someone. Simone's voice brightened with curiosity. Who was it? Tell me everything. Just someone I ran into. No one important. Well, whoever he was, I'm glad you had someone to talk to. You seemed sad all night. Simone's voice softened. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine, Tori lied. Just tired. Wedding emotions, you know? They chatted for a few more minutes before Simone had to go. The moment Tori hung up, her phone buzzed with a text from Landon. Good morning, tragic heroine. Coffee? I know a place that makes cappuccinos that will change your life, possibly your religion. They're that good. Despite everything, Tori smiled. How do you have this much energy this early? I don't sleep. It's a billionaire thing. We're powered by money and poor life choices. Coffee? Please say yes. I'm very charming in the morning, even more charming than last night, if you can believe it. Tori should say no, should take time to process, should not jump from one situation into another. Okay, send me the address. She typed back. Yes, prepare for life-changing coffee. And my sparkling personality. See you in an hour. An hour later, Tori walked into a small coffee shop that smelled like heaven. Landon was already there, dressed casually in dark jeans and a gray Henley that somehow made his eyes even more intense. He waved her over with an enthusiasm that shouldn't be legal before 10 a.m. You came. He stood up, grinning. I was 50-50 on whether you'd ghost me. Glad you chose the non-ghosting option. I'm a woman of my word. And a beautiful one at that. He gestured to the booth. I already ordered you a cappuccino and one of those croissants that's basically just butter in a fancy shape. Hope that's okay. Presumptuous, efficient, and hungry. I make no apologies for either. Landon leaned back, studying her. So, how are you feeling this morning, on a scale of mildly traumatized to ready to burn it all down? Tori laughed despite herself. Somewhere in the middle? That's the spirit. Aim for mediocrity. The cappuccino arrived and it was perfect. So I have a proposal. Already? We just had coffee. Not that kind of proposal, though I'm very marriageable. Excellent credit score, own a yacht I never use. Landon's grin was infectious. Here's the deal. It's a beautiful day. You just survived emotional trauma. I have nothing to do. Let's be tourists in our own city. What? Come on. When's the last time you did something spontaneous? Something just for fun? He leaned forward. Let's find joy today. No wedding talk. No ex-boyfriend talk. Just two people exploring and laughing at stupid things. I don't know. That's the point. You don't know, so say yes anyway. Landon's steel gray eyes sparkled. Come on, Tori. Take a chance on a ridiculous billionaire who makes bad jokes and drives too fast. What's the worst that could happen? Looking at his hopeful expression, Tori found herself nodding. Okay, but I have conditions. Name them. No pressure, no expectations, just fun. Deal. Landon stood up, already pulling out his phone. First stop, bookstore. There's this place with first editions and a cat named Chairman Meow. You're going to love it. They spent the day exploring the city, the vintage bookstore where Landon insisted on buying her a first edition when she admired it. A food truck with incredible tacos where Landon somehow convinced the owner to give them free dessert. An art gallery where Landon made up ridiculous stories about the paintings that had Tori laughing until she cried. And this one, Landon said, pointing at an abstract painting, is clearly about a man who couldn't decide between pizza and tacos. So he had both and experienced enlightenment. That's not what the placard says. The placard is lying. I'm an art expert. Trust me. You're a tech investor. Multi-talented. It's exhausting being this gifted. They ended up in a park by the river as the sun started to set. Landon had somehow acquired ice cream cones, and they sat on a bench watching the water. Thank you for today, Tori said quietly. I needed this. Thank you for saying yes. Landon's voice was softer now. I haven't had this much fun in years, and I've thrown parties on yachts. The yacht you bought by accident? That's the one. Turns out yachts are boring. Know what's not boring? Making a beautiful woman laugh. Tori felt her cheeks warm. You flirt with everyone, don't you? Only the ones worth flirting with. Landon's expression was more serious now. And for the record, I don't usually do this. Do what? Spend entire days with someone. Talk to them, actually care about making them smile. He looked at her. You're different. Different how? I haven't figured that out yet, but I will. He stood up, offering his hand. Come on, I'll take you home before you turn into a pumpkin or I say something embarrassing. He drove her home, and at her door he pulled out his phone again. Tomorrow? He asked. Landon, not a date, just coffee or lunch, or me showing up with donuts and bad jokes. His smile was boyish. I like spending time with you. Say yes. Tori knew she should be cautious. Protect her heart, take time to heal, but Landon made her feel alive. Okay, tomorrow. Excellent. Prepare for donuts, and more of my sparkling personality. It's a lot to handle, but you seem tough. Over the next few weeks, Landon became a constant presence in Tori's life. Morning texts with terrible jokes. Coffee dates that turned into lunch. Dinners that lasted until midnight. He made her laugh, made her feel seen, made her forget to be sad. And slowly, without meaning to, Tori fell in love. What she didn't know was that Landon was changing too. He'd stopped seeing other women. Canceled dates. The game had stopped being a game, but he was too scared to admit it. Even to himself. One evening, about 6 weeks after the wedding, they were having dinner at a small Italian restaurant. Landon was in the middle of a ridiculous story about accidentally insulting a business partner when Tori just blurted it out. I think I'm falling for you, Landon stopped mid-sentence. What? I'm falling for you, and it scares me to death. For the first time since she'd met him, Landon looked genuinely flustered. Tori, you don't have to say anything, Tori said quickly. I just needed you to know that this isn't just fun for me anymore, that you've become important. Landon reached across the table and took her hand. Then let's be terrified together. What? I'm scared too. This is different. You're different, and I don't know what to do with that. His steel gray eyes were vulnerable, but I want to figure it out with you. Tori felt tears threatening. Really? Really? Landon squeezed her hand. Fair warning, I'm terrible at relationships. I don't know what I'm doing, but for you, I want to try. They left the restaurant hand in hand, and for the first time in months, Tori felt hopeful. But across town, in an exclusive club, Johnson was having drinks with an old college friend, Devin. The marriage had imploded within days. Simone had discovered Devin's lies about his parents and filed for annulment. Devin was miserable, drunk, and desperate. I need to get her back, Devin slurred. Tori, I can't stop thinking about her, and I need to fix this. Let her go, man, Johnson said. She's moved on. Moved on to who? She's with Landon now, and it seems he's serious about her. Landon? You're Landon, the Playboy? Devin's eyes narrowed. Come on, he doesn't do serious. Johnson shifted uncomfortably. He's different with her. I've never seen him like this. Really? What did he say about her? And here, drunk and loose-lipped, Johnson made the worst mistake of his life. Look, between us, he called her a toy when they first met, said she was broken and easy. But that was right at the beginning. I told him to leave her alone, and by the time... Devin's phone was already recording under the table. A toy, huh? Devin's smile was sharp. Interesting. Does Landon sees Tori as a plaything? He pressed further for hard evidence with accurate names. Yes, I mean no. I don't think he does anymore. Johnson stuttered, but Devin already had what he needed. No, you're not listening, Johnson said, realizing his mistake too late. He changed. Completely. Whatever he felt at first, it's real now. Sure it is, Devin said, already planning. Thanks for the info, man. After Devin left, Johnson sat there with a sick feeling in his stomach. He'd just betrayed his best friend's confidence, had given Devin a new will to chase. He should call Landon. Warn him, but warn him about what? Johnson ordered another drink and tried to convince himself it didn't matter. It mattered. If your pulse is thundering right now, if you can feel the storm gathering, then stay with me. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because what's coming next will shake the foundation of everything Tori and Landon have fought to protect. The betrayal is closer than they think, and its impact will be shattering. Share this moment with someone who understands that love may be messy, painful, and complicated, but always worth the scars. And if this journey has held your heart the way it was meant to, you can show a little love back through the super thanks button below. Now, let's keep going. The emotional drop is just ahead. 2 days later, Tori was working from her favorite coffee shop when Devin walked in. She looked up and froze. Tori, please, just 5 minutes. I have nothing to say to you. Then just listen. Devin sat down before she could stop him. Simone left me, filed for annulment. She found out about my lies. Good for her. I deserved that. Devin looked terrible, exhausted, haunted. I came to apologize. For everything. For lying. For hurting you. For being a coward. Tori started packing her things, apology noted. Goodbye. Wait, there's something else. Something you need to know. Devin pulled out his phone. About Landon. Tori's blood went cold. What about him? I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm trying to protect you. Devin hit play. Johnson's voice filled the space between them. Landon called her a toy, said she was broken and easy. The world stopped spinning. No, Tori whispered. The recording continued. I told him to leave her alone. Tori felt like she'd been punched in the chest. A toy, broken and easy. A toy. I'm sorry, Devin said, and he actually looked it. But I couldn't let him keep lying to you. Get out, Tori said, her voice barely functioning. Tori, get out! Devin left, and Tori sat there, the recording playing on repeat in her mind. A toy, broken and easy. She'd been played, again. First Devin's lie, now Landon's game. What was wrong with her? Why was she so easy to manipulate? Her phone rang. Landon. She ignored it. It rang again. Text messages started flooding in. Hey, beautiful. Lunch today? Tori, you okay? You're worrying me. Please respond. Finally, Tori texted back, we need to talk. Come to my apartment. Now. On my way. 20 minutes later, Landon knocked on her door. He was grinning, holding a bag of takeout. I brought Thai food because I'm a mind reader and also because I'm hungry. He stopped when he saw her face. Tori, what's wrong? Is it true? Her voice was eerily calm. Did you call me a toy? All the color drained from Landon's face. What? Answer the question. Did you tell Johnson that I was broken and easy? That I was your new toy to play with? The silence was damning. Oh my God, Tori breathed. It's true. Tori, let me explain. Explain what? Her voice rose. That you saw a broken woman at a wedding and thought she'd be easy prey? That everything, the coffee dates, the laughter, the sweet words, was all a game? No, yes, I said that, but what? Tears streamed down her face. But you actually fell for your toy? Should I be grateful? It wasn't like that. Landon stepped toward her, desperation in his eyes. Yes, at first I saw you as a distraction, a conquest. But that changed, immediately. By the second date, everything was different. How convenient, she scoffed. And I'm supposed to believe that? Tori backed away from him. You must have seen me as a fool when I told you about my feelings. How am I supposed to trust anything you say when you built this entire relationship on a lie? I didn't lie. You called me a toy, Tori's voice cracked. You saw my pain and thought it made me easy. Do you know what that does to me? I've been played by 2 men in less than a year. What does that say about me? It says they're idiots who don't deserve you. No, it says I'm pathetic, that I'm so broken, so desperate for love, that I'm easy prey for anyone who wants to play games. Tori was sobbing now. Was it fun? Did you and Johnson laugh about the broken girl who believed your lies? I never laughed about you, Landon said, his own voice breaking. I fell in love with you, Tori. Actually, genuinely fell in love. I know you don't believe me, but you're right. I don't believe you. Tori's voice went cold, because love doesn't start with seeing someone as a toy. Love doesn't begin with a game. People change. Get out. Tori, please, get out of my house. She screamed it. I can't look at you. I can't breathe near you. Just get out. Landon looked like she'd driven a knife through his chest. I love you. You don't know what love is, Tori said, her voice breaking. Now get out and don't come back. Landon stood there for a moment, his steel gray eyes filled with pain. Then he nodded slowly, set the bag of food on her counter, and walked to the door. At the threshold, he stopped. For what it's worth, I'm sorrier than you'll ever know. And everything I felt for you was real, every word, every moment. Please just go, Tori whispered. He left. The moment the door closed, Tori collapsed. She curled up on her floor and sobbed. Deep, wrenching sobs that came from somewhere primal. She'd been a fool twice. Had given her heart to men who saw her as less than. Her phone buzzed. Simone. Tori ignored it. She couldn't talk to anyone right now. She just wanted to disappear. For 3 weeks, Tori shut down completely. She went to work, came home, and existed. That was it. She ignored Landon's calls and texts until they stopped coming, threw herself into work projects, avoided anything that reminded her of him. But at night, alone, the pain came flooding back. The humiliation, the shame, the crushing weight of being someone's game. Simone had been calling constantly. Finally, she showed up at Tori's apartment, using her spare key. Tori, what the hell is going on? Simone demanded, finding Tori on the couch in sweatpants, surrounded by takeout containers. You've been avoiding me for weeks. You look terrible. I can't do this right now, Tori said. Yes, you can. I'm your best friend. Simone sat beside her, talked to me, and something in Tori broke. She couldn't carry these secrets anymore. I dated Devin, she said quietly, for 3 years. Simone froze. What? He was my boyfriend, and 6 months before your engagement, he broke up with me. Told me his parents would disown him if he married me. Tori couldn't look at her. The silence was deafening. You... what? Simone's voice was barely a whisper. I didn't know he was your Devin until the engagement party. You never showed me pictures. When I realized I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to tell you without destroying everything. So I stayed silent. You let me marry him. Simone's voice was flat. You stood beside me and said nothing. I was trying to protect you, protect me. Simone stood up, her voice rising. You let me marry a man who dumped you 6 months earlier, who lied to you, and you thought that was protecting me. I thought telling you would hurt you more, Tori said, tears streaming. I thought if I told you, it would destroy our friendship, destroy your happiness. Well, congratulations, Simone was crying now too. You destroyed it anyway. 3 months of secrets, Tori. 3 months of watching me plan a wedding to your ex and saying nothing. I'm sorry, Tori sobbed. I'm so sorry. You should have told me, Simone's voice cracked. You should have trusted me to handle it. But instead, you decided what I could and couldn't know. That's not friendship. That's betrayal. Please, Simone, I need space, Simone said, grabbing her purse. I need time to process this. To figure out what to do about my marriage, about us. Your marriage? I confronted Devin after the wedding. He admitted he lied about his parents. They never gave him an ultimatum. He chose me because I was easier. Simone's laugh was bitter. So yeah, I'm processing a lot right now, and I can't do it with you. She left, and Tori felt the last piece of her world crumble. The next morning, Tori was still on her couch when someone knocked. She opened the door to find Johnson standing there. What do you want? Tori asked coldly. To explain about what I told Devin. Johnson looked genuinely distraught. Please, 5 minutes. Tori wanted to slam the door, but something in his expression made her step aside. They sat in her living room, and Johnson pulled out his phone. I betrayed Landon's confidence when I was drunk. I told Devin something I shouldn't have. But you need to see the full context. He showed her his texts with Landon, messages from the days after they met. Something's wrong with me. I can't stop thinking about her. I canceled my date with Rachel. Didn't even want to go. This is different. I think I'm falling for her. Actually falling. What do I do? I'm in love with her. I've never been in love before. It's terrifying. I've known Landon for 15 years, Johnson said quietly. I've watched him date countless women and walk away without a second thought. But you? You changed him completely. He scrolled to more recent texts. After their breakup, I can't eat, can't sleep. You destroyed the best thing that ever happened to me. How do I fix this? How do I prove it was real? I would give up everything just to have her back. The man I knew doesn't do heartbreak, Johnson continued, but you broke him in the best possible way. Yes, he called you a toy initially, but you made him fall in love, actually genuinely in love. Tori wiped her tears. How do I know these are real? Because I'm showing you my phone. These aren't screenshots he could have faked. These are actual texts. Johnson's voice was firm. And because Landon has been a mess without you, he's stopped eating, stopped sleeping, just works constantly and calls me at 3 a.m. blaming me and asking how to fix this. Why should I care? Because bad beginnings don't mean bad endings. Johnson stood up. My wife and I had a terrible start. I was dating her cousin first. The family hated me. But we've been married 10 years. Sometimes love starts messy and becomes beautiful. After he left, Tori sat with his words, with the texts that showed Landon's transformation, with the possibility that maybe, just maybe, love could survive imperfect beginnings. That evening, Simone appeared at her door again. Can we talk? Simone asked quietly. They sat on opposite ends of the couch. I left Devin, Simone said, filed for annulment 2 days after you told me. He admitted everything, the lies, knowing who you were, choosing me because I was easier. Simone, let me finish. Simone took a shaky breath. I was furious at you. But then I started thinking about all the times you tried to warn me, all the times you looked sad when I talked about him. You were trying to tell me without betraying his confidence. I should have just told you the truth. Maybe, but you were in an impossible situation. Simone reached for Tori's hand. You made a choice out of love for me, a stupid choice, but a loving one, and I forgive you. They fell into each other's arms, crying together. I missed you so much, Tori said. I missed you too. Simone pulled back. Now tell me about this Landon situation. Tori told her everything. about the toy comment, about falling in love, about the devastating betrayal. I saw you two together once, Simone said when she finished. At a restaurant. The way he looked at you, Tori, that wasn't a game, that was real love. How can you be sure? Because you can't fake that kind of attention, that kind of presence. Simone squeezed her hand. I'm not saying you have to forgive him, but maybe Johnson is right. Maybe bad beginnings can lead to good endings. 2 weeks later, Tori made her decision. She texted Landon, "Can we talk? Jazz Club, Uri, PM tomorrow." The response was immediate. "I'll be there." "Thank you." When Tori walked into Blue Note the next evening, Landon was already there. He looked terrible, exhausted, disheveled, like he hadn't slept in weeks. His usual confidence was gone, replaced by raw vulnerability. He stood when he saw her. Tori. Landon. They sat, and the silence stretched between them. Finally, Landon spoke. "I'm not going to make excuses. What I said to Johnson was real. I did see you as a conquest initially, and I hate myself for it." "Why?" Tori asked. "Why did you see me that way?" "Because that's who I was, a playboy who didn't do real relationships. My family destroyed my ability to trust love, so I built walls, made everything superficial. Saw women as entertainment," his voice cracked. "And then I saw you on that terrace. And yes, my first instinct was to see you as easy prey, and I'm so ashamed of that. When did it change? That first night here, in this club. Landon's steel gray eyes were raw. You talked about what Devin did to you. And I saw your strength, your grace, and I thought, this woman is remarkable. By the second date, I was fascinated. Soon after, I was falling. Then I was in love. Actually in love for the first time in my life." He pulled out his phone. "Read them. All my texts to Johnson. See my transformation." Tori scrolled through the messages. Saw his panic about falling in love, his confusion, his joy, his devastation after they broke up. "I approached you for the wrong reasons," Landon said, tears in his eyes. "But I stayed for all the right ones. You changed me completely, made me believe I could be better, made me want to be better." "I'm scared," Tori whispered, terrified that if I trust you again, you'll break me. "I know." Landon's voice was thick. "And I can't promise I won't hurt you, but I promise honesty. I promise to fight for us every day. I promise to be worthy of the chance you gave me once before." "How do I know it's real?" "Because I stopped being who I was. I canceled dates. Turned down women, started going to therapy to work on my fear of intimacy." Landon leaned forward. "You didn't just change how I felt, you changed who I am." Tori closed her eyes, feeling the weight of the decision. "I need time," she finally said. "Time to think, to heal." "I'll give you all the time you need," Landon said immediately. "A week, a month, a year. And if I decide I can't," pain flashed across Landon's face, "then I'll respect that, but I'll spend my life regretting that I approached you wrong." Tori stood. "I'll call you, when I've decided." Landon stood too. "Tori?" She looked back. "I fell in love with you too," he said quietly. "Completely. And that's why this hurts so much. Because you're the first person who made me believe love was real, and I ruined it by being an idiot at the start." Tori nodded and left before she could change her mind. For 2 more weeks, Tori thought. Talked to her therapist, talked to Simone, considered whether she could forgive. Whether bad beginnings could lead to beautiful endings. On day 14, she texted Landon, same place. Tonight. When she arrived, Landon was waiting, anxiety written all over his handsome face. "I've decided something," Tori said after they sat down. Landon barely breathed. "I can't go back to how we were," Tori said, "but I'm willing to start over, slowly, with complete honesty." Hope flickered in his eyes. "Start over?" "Hi." Tori extended her hand. "I'm Tori Anderson. I'm an interior designer who's terrible at protecting her heart, and I'm learning to believe I'm worth fighting for." Landon stared at her hand, then took it, his grip warm and firm. "Hi, Tori Anderson. I'm Landon Mercer. I'm a reformed playboy who's terrified of real connection, and I'm completely in love with you." "That's very forward for a first meeting," Tori said, a small smile appearing. "I believe in transparency. Learned it from a wise woman." Landon's smile was tentative. Can I take you to dinner as a real first date with no games? I have conditions. Name them. Complete honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. We take this slowly. No rushing, and if you hurt me again, I'm gone. No second chances. Understood. Landon's voice was serious. Anything else? Tell me something true, right now. Landon didn't hesitate. I've never felt for anyone what I feel for you. It terrifies me. The depth of it. The way I can't imagine my future without you. You made me want to be better, not for you, though I want that too, but for myself. Tori felt tears building. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, but your way of doing things is over. We're doing this my way now. Landon's smile was brilliant. Your way sounds perfect. Over the next 6 months, they rebuilt their relationship from the ground up. Real first dates, honest conversations about fears and hopes, working through hurt together. Landon kept his promises. He was transparent about everything, his therapy, his past, his struggles. When he felt himself pulling away out of old habits, he told her instead of disappearing. Tori worked on her own healing too. Started therapy to address why she made herself small. Why she believed she had to earn love. They learned each other slowly, the real versions, not the performances. And gradually, trust rebuilt. 8 months after their restart, Landon showed up at Tori's apartment with a folder. What's this? Open it. Inside was a complete business plan for Anderson Interiors. Startup capital outlined. Before you protest, it's a gift, not a loan. No strings. I believe in you. Let me support your dreams. Tori felt tears building. This is too much. It's not. You're talented and deserve a chance. Landon took her hands. Let me do this. Not to buy your love, but because I love you and want to see you thrive. Okay, Tori said. Yes. 3 months later, Anderson Interiors opened its doors. Simone threw a launch party. Johnson came with his wife. Landon stood at the back watching Tori glow with confidence. When most people had left, he found her on the small balcony. How does it feel? He asked, terrifying and amazing. They stood in comfortable silence. Then Landon said, Do you trust me now? Tori considered honestly. Most days, some days I still hear that recording, but then I remember everything you've done since. How you've shown up, and yes, I trust you. Good. Landon pulled out a small box. This isn't an engagement ring. Not yet. It's a promise ring. Emerald for growth, for second chances. He slipped it onto her right hand. I promise to love you honestly, to show up even when it's hard, to be worthy of your faith. I love you, Tori whispered. I love you too, Landon said, pulling her into a kiss. 2 years later, on a beach at sunset, Landon actually proposed. Tori said yes, without hesitation. 6 months after that, they married in an intimate ceremony. Simone was maid of honor, happy with her pediatrician Raphael. Johnson stood as best man. When Landon kissed his bride, Tori felt complete, not because he'd fixed her, but because he'd loved her through the healing. 3 years later, Tori stood in Anderson Interiors' third location. The company had grown beyond her dreams, featured in magazines, celebrity clients. Success. Landon walked in carrying their 6-month-old daughter, Maya. Someone wanted to see her mama, he said, kissing Tori before handing over the baby. Tori took Maya, breathing in that perfect baby smell. How's my girl? Perfect. Like her mother, Landon wrapped his arms around them. Still on for dinner with Simone and Raphael? Wouldn't miss it. They stood there, a family built on broken beginnings and brave choices. Love hadn't saved her, she'd saved herself. But love had made the journey worthwhile. And the man holding her, he wasn't perfect. Their story wasn't perfect, but it was real. Honest, true. And that was better than any fairy tale. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that broken beginnings can lead to beautiful endings, then hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Share this with someone who needs to hear that second chances are real. That people can change. That love is worth fighting for, even when it starts imperfectly. Thank you for taking this journey with Tori and Landon. Keep believing in redemption, in growth, and in the power of real love.